Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Evelyne Kamugisha Migabo one more time. We are back here. I'm with my friend here. Today we are going to talk about her journey with cancer. Welcome. Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is Esther.
Please voice louder.
Yes. My name is Esther.
Yes.
Esther Wairimu. And I am born again.
Yes.
And I am from here in Kenya.
Yes.
I come from Nakuru. It's a county called Nakuru. And from a family of 7, I am the last born.
Last born.
Yes, so I am my mom's and my dad's baby girl.
I know,
Yes,
I
yes,
know.
yes.
Last born baby, last born mtoi wa mama. So Esther, the reason why I called you here, I saw your testimony, I saw your pictures, and I saw that you went through cancer, and you are cancer free now. I want to know your journey. How did it start?
Yeah, first of all, I thank God because of you having me here.
Yes.
I am so grateful because I know that I'll be able to touch other lives through this.
Yes.
So my journey was back in 2016, and that is when I went to hospital. 2016, it was actually 2016 January, the 2nd of January. That's when I went to hospital. But back then in 2015, I was feeling like kind of funny from the month of August 2015. So I started feeling funny. I was feeling fatigued, and I was feeling tired, very tired, and mostly fatigued. So I thought it was just normal, you know. At work, I used to work the evening shifts. You know, I used to work from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. So I just thought that it is just normal fatigue. So I just continued with my life. But in the month of November, now in November 2015, it worsened. The fatigue worsened. I started having headaches, very severe headaches. I started feeling tired all the time. I was even having boils all over, boils under my armpits. I would have, yes, on my body. And I still thought that it was just normal. So it was kind of a long time bad feeling. I didn't think of anything. So because I was working, when I was working, I thought this is just a normal headache. Yes. But the headaches were really severe. And then when you're a light person and someone hits you, there's like kind of a black mark.
Yes.
So I used to have those black marks on my arms, my laps. And I was kind of wondering, what is this? So I thought, because I had traveled home to the village, I thought that this is just as a result of maybe getting to do house chores and all that. So I thought this is just a normal thing. That was now in December 2015. So I traveled home and came back here. So when I came back here, I thought, after 2 weeks, I thought, hey, let me go to the hospital and do a normal checkup because the headaches were really severe. Now, at work, we usually have a clinic. So I went to the clinic and explained my issue to the doctor. So first of all, the doctor did a normal blood count to see how my blood was. So when he looked at me, my palm, I mean the palms of my hands, I didn't have, my palms were white. I didn't have any blood. So he did a blood count and the blood was very low. It was at 8. A normal count is supposed to be like around 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, but mine was at 8. So he told me, during your off day, just go and do a normal, go and do a full screening of your body so that we can know exactly what the issue is. So at that point, the doctor gave me some painkillers because my headaches were really severe. They were really severe. I couldn't work without painkillers. So he gave me some painkillers and gave me some blood boosters. So that was on a Wednesday, that week. So on Saturday, I went to the doctor. I went to a hospital now. So remember, this was a work hospital, a work clinic. Yes. So I went to a big hospital now, a bigger hospital. So it's called the Nairobi Hospital. So when I went there, I went and so the doctor explained my issue, and the doctor sent me to the lab. So when I went to the lab and did a blood count, the doctor said that I do a blood count and a clotting test. It's usually a test to show how long your blood will take to clot. So when I went to the lab, I did a blood count. It was I had to wait for the results. For like after 1 hour, that's when I got my results. The blood was at 6 now. You see, remember it was 8. But on Saturday, it's already at 6. Yeah, so the doctor was really worried. So they called me. I was in the hospital. It's a big hospital. So I was in the hospital. They called me and they told me, where are you? You're supposed to be at the casualty. And I was like, I am here in the hospital. Why are you calling me? So since the doctor had referred me to go and do like an ultrasound, because the doctor at the clinic, at the work clinic, thought that I actually had fibroids. So he had said, go and do an ultrasound to make sure that you do not have fibroids. So when I was at the department of the radio department, where I was supposed to do the ultrasound, that's when they called me. So when I told them I was there, they came and picked me. You see, at that time, I was like kind of still feeling very sick now. It was it was like around 6:30 in the evening, and I had gone there like around 11. So I had spent the whole day in the hospital.
You are not feeling fine.
It's kind of a busy hospital. But now at that time I was really feeling sick, so I decided to take some more painkillers. I was taking Betapin 2 tablets in the morning, in the noontime, and in the evening. I had to take tablets. So when I went, when they came for me at the place where I was doing the ultrasound, and then they carried me in a wheelchair. So I was asking them, what is it? What's happening?
Yeah, but I can walk.
Yes,
myself.
I can walk.
Yes.
I can walk. Why am I required to sit on a wheelchair? And they were like, Madam, sit down. So I sat and I was taken back to the casualty. So back to the casualty, they told me, now we are admitting you because you have very low blood count. Your blood count is at 6 and your platelets are at 33. Usually the normal platelets for someone should be like 150 and above. It's 150, like not really 150 150. It's 150. I don't know whether it's billion or something, but mine were at 33. So you see, that was a very low platelets count. So the doctor told me, I will admit you, then your doctor will come tomorrow in the morning. So I thought, hey, this is just a normal thing. Okay, fine, let me get admitted because it's already at 8 p.m.
Instead of going back home,
let me just go to the ward. But I don't really feel sick. I mean, it's just a normal headache.
Yes.
That was actually the most serious thing. Just a headache. So when I went to the ward, I was admitted there. The following morning, the doctor came. He's called Professor Abinya. He came. And when he came, he told me he was going to do some few tests. He has, I think, he's an oncologist. That is, he deals with cancer patients, and he has practiced for a very long time. So I think he already figured out what my problem was, but he couldn't tell me. So he told me, we are going to do a test. We are going to do a bone marrow biopsy. Like they remove your bone marrow and then take it to the lab and test, check whether you have blood cancer. So I didn't know that is the reason for doing a bone marrow. I didn't know. So me, I just thought they are just doing a normal test. I didn't know it was cancer. So that was on Sunday. That's when the doctor came. So on Monday, another doctor came and took my bone marrow. Usually they drill you at the back. Huh?
Oh my God.
They drill the bone. They have to reach the bone, and then
Is it painful?
Very painful.
Very.
Yeah, but they have to sedate you. But you're not really normally. It doesn't really like work like 100%. It's painful. So they remove the bone marrow, go to the lab, and then now after like 3 days, that is when the result come. The result usually come out. So I waited at the hospital. So every day I would ask the doctor, why am I still in hospital? You see, at that time they had already like transfused blood. So they had added blood. So my blood was normal, and they were giving me painkillers every day. So I wasn't feeling sick. So me,
like, I can go home.
So I kept asking the doctor, why am I still in hospital? And he would tell me, I promise you, Esther, if we continue doing the blood test and your blood test become okay and your blood is okay, if your platelets will start increasing, I will discharge you. But you see, they were not discharging me, and so the platelets were still going down because the disease is still eating me.
Yes.
So the third day, that was, I remember it was on a Thursday. That's when now the doctor came in the morning. So he came in. He used to come in every morning and in the evening. So he came in that morning and he told me, he sat down. I was in a private room. So he sat down. They usually come in with a nurse. So he sat down and the nurse was standing. So he asked me a lot of questions about my life, my job. Do you have any other people who have had such conditions? And I was like, yeah, I remember there's a time my sister was having blood issues, like my blood, her blood was really down. She used to faint every time, but she went back to normal and she's okay now.
She's now.
Yeah. So that is what I told him. But that was years ago, like 5 years ago. At that time now. So so he told me, so now there's a treatment that you're going to do, and the treatment is going to be a bit hard on you, and after the treatment I will discharge you. You will go home, and then you will come back. We shall review you, and then we shall see if we have to continue with the same treatment. And I was like, okay, fine. Which treatment is that? You are going to do chemotherapy. And now me, I knew, I used to know chemotherapy is for cancer patients.
So Esther, hold on. He did not tell you have cancer?
Not like, he wasn't like straightforward. He was like going round and round. Before
so it's like actually they don't like to release to break the news yeah,
you know, telling someone like you have cancer, it's yes, it's
because even me, cancer, the way I know cancer, I'm like, cancer, maisha.
Exactly. You know, people hear cancer and they're like, oh, that is a death sentence. This person is
thank
going.
God you are here. Today we will know. Kama watu wanaishi.
Yes. So the doctor told me, you're going to do chemotherapy. And I looked at him and I asked him, doctor, why am I doing chemotherapy? So
I have cancer?
Yes, that was my question. I asked him, Kwani, do I have cancer? He told me yes. He was, at this time, he wasn't even looking at me. He was just looking down. He told me, yes, you have cancer and it's in the blood. You have leukemia and it's really progressed. You need treatment urgently. I don't really remember exactly what happened. Huwa sikumbukaji.
This is what I wanted to ask now. After receiving the news, after the doctor has broken the news, what was your reaction? How did you receive the news?
I have never been able to recall everything that happened. I think I kind of switched off in a way. I don't really remember, because all I remember is I was crying. I was sitting somewhere in a corner in the room, holding my head like this, and I was crying, and I was asking him, how do I have cancer? So I was sitting in a corner. You see, at that time when he was breaking the news for me, I was sitting on the bed. But me, all I remember is I was sitting in a corner, somewhere in a corner, holding my head, crying, asking him, how? So me, what was going through my mind is, okay, I know cancer is not treatable.
Yeah.
So me, I know it is. At that time, I know I have never heard of any cancer patient surviving. So are you telling me that I am going to die? Is that what you're telling me? So he told me, you need to calm down so we can talk about this thing and know how we are going to help you. I cried. I really cried. I was so devastated. I felt that was in 2016, and I had really prayed to God to give me a job. So I had gotten a job back in 2012, and I got a permanent employment in 2014. So I was like, this is now the time to enjoy my life. Now in 2016, we are here, January, cancer comes in. And I was so devastated. So I just couldn't believe. So the doctor tried to talk about it. Tell me, if you're just going to do the treatment, you will be fine. You'll be okay. So
you believe him at that time?
I didn't even know what to believe at that time, because I had not seen any cancer patient. I had not heard of. I know they are there. Probably they were there even before, but I never really used to research about cancer. It was nowhere in my mind. There's no way it could happen to me. And again, at that time I was asking myself, I have been serving God all my life. How is it that God has let this thing hit me? Cancer, of all the diseases. So it was like I had so many questions in my head.
You see, sometimes God allows some things to happen to us so that one day it can be a testimony.
So what happened is that now when the doctor left, he sent a counselor. So a counselor came and she walked me through the treatment, how it's going to be done. So the counselor didn't really mention about the side effects of the treatment, but she just told me, she made it look so easy. So easy. Like she told me, you're just going to, the doctor will just come give you medication, and then you're going to stay here for like in a few weeks, and then you will leave, you will go, and then of course your hair is going to fall off, but when you go, you will then come back, then do another session. That is what the counselor told me. I had never seen a cancer patient going through chemotherapy, but I knew that with cancer you had to lose your hair. So I thought that was all. I didn't know what was in store for me. I didn't know. So that was on Thursday. So the doctor had to leave me so I could be in terms with the news, and then inform my family, and then consent to start treatment, because they cannot just start treatment without you consenting, saying you have agreed to that treatment, because it's a really tough one. So that is how the doctor broke the news to me. And that is, I couldn't, at that moment, when the doctor left, I called my pastor back at home. When I called him, I told him, I couldn't even be able to talk. I was just crying on the phone. Yeah, just crying on the phone. He was like, Esther, please, can you tell me what is wrong? He knew I was in hospital. He was waiting for the result, for a result. So I was like, I told him, nimeambiwa niko na cancer. I've been told I have cancer. And he was like, what? No, you don't have. So he tried to like help me, encourage me, and then he prayed for me over the phone. So after that, I called my other pastor, now my current pastor. I had to run.
Pastors, they are refuge.
I tell you, and you know, it's funny that people, I know people run to, you know, when you're given bad news, like for the first person to think about in your head is my pastor. Please pray for me, because we all know that help comes from God.
From God, yes.
So I think that is the reason that we only call our pastors first.
Yeah.
So when I called my pastor, he's called Reverend Kerry. I told him, I have been told I have cancer. And he told me, Esther, no, I don't believe that.
Yes.
You don't have cancer and you are not. So I also cried.
Yes.
You are not going to, and he told me, you're not going to die. We are going to pray, and you will come out of it. You will get healed. So after that, now I called my sister. My sister is a nurse. And I called her. So when I called her, I gave her the news, and she was so devastated. My elder sister, but her being a nurse and also a born again Christian, she said, she encouraged me. She really these are the words she told me. She told me, my dear, from now start confessing that you are not going to die. Amen. You will live to declare the doing of the Lord in your life. Amen. So she told me, I am going back to church right now. She was actually on her way home, but she told me, I'm going back to church and I'm going to pray for you. And I am telling you that you will get healed. You are not going to die young. So she really encouraged me. She prayed for me, and now I didn't have the strength to inform my mom and dad, because my mom and dad, my dad right now is at 79 years old. My mom is around 73. So at that time they were still, my mom was 60 something and my dad was already 70. So I was like, now how do I tell my mom and dad that their last born child nimekwambia mimi ni last born. How do I tell them? How do I tell them? So me, I told my sister, you tell mom and dad. You just find a way to tell them, because me, I don't know how to tell them. So after that, I had to call my brother, because my brother is usually my next of kin back at work. So I called him. He lives here in Nairobi. So I called him and told him. So he came immediately. And after that, I had to like stay there, process the news, give feedback to the doctor whether I will start the treatment. So the doctor came the following day in the evening. That is when I told him, now it's okay, I think we can start the treatment. And so that is how my journey started.
So now you know the news, and now you want to start the chemotherapy. How many have you done, and for how long did you stay in the hospital?
Now, the first chemo was running for 7 days. So for 7 days, I first of all,
Monday.
Yes, first of all, I was taken to another room because I couldn't do treatment there, because usually with chemotherapy, it just beats you. So it kills the immune system. So you are just not there. You don't have any defense. You do not have, your body is just there. So usually, so the doctor took me to another room. I was isolated to another room where nobody could come, and there was like fresh air. And they did like a minor surgery on my neck. They inserted a line so that it could be easy for them to administer now the chemo. So they put a line on my neck. Then after that, they gave me a lot of water. So the following morning, that's when I started chemo. So usually I was using 2 drugs. One drug was running for 2 hours. Then another one was running for 21 hours.
By the way, tell me, what is chemo? Is it the injection? Is it tablet? It is what?
Yeah, chemo, what I was doing was like, it was a drip. It was a drip. They give you a drip.
Like something like injection?
No. Yeah, yes. They what they do is, you see the way you go to hospital and then they give you, they put a drip. So it's the same.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's the same. But now this one that was running for 21 hours, it was going so slow because I would start at around 10 a.m. to like around 12:30. I get a break to take my lunch, and then after that, like around 3, now they give me the other drip, the other one. So this one we run from 3 p.m. overnight until the following day, like around 9 a.m. So I would, after that, I would go have a shower and then come back and then start the other one. It ran like that for 7 days. But in the around the 3rd day, I wouldn't even be able to move. I wasn't able even to move.
Even to walk.
Because I tell you, what usually kills people is not really the cancer, the disease, but it's the treatment. Chemo is bad news.
You can't be serious.
It's bad news. That thing is just bad news.
So it can kill, actually. It kills. It kills.
What happens is that chemo destroys it's not like when you take malaria queen. Like when you have malaria, you take malaria queen, and malaria queen fights those bad cells. Now chemo fights everything, the good cells and the bad cells. So it kills everything in your body. It destroys your bone marrow, everything. So when your bone marrow is destroyed, like you don't have platelets, your blood goes down, your immune system goes down. The moment you start chemo, the bone marrow stops working.
And now, why do they use it to heal the cancer, since even itself it can kill?
It's the only way. Well, I don't know, because I don't know. Yeah, but I know that they use it to kill. I mean, they want to ambush as many cancer cells as possible. You see, so
now after the 3rd day, you cannot even move. You cannot. Now,
because you see now, the nurses used to tell me, right now you're not feeling bad, but you know, when after the chemo you will really be sick. So I was like, why am I not sick now? As in, what do you mean I am going to be sick after the chemo now?
Yes.
Because after the 7th day, the last day, that is when it really now starts working. That is when, like, it has really gone into your body completely, everywhere. So during the beginning of the chemo, all I was having were like nausea, like you can't even eat, you just vomiting. It gives you constipation, you can't go to the loo, like you have to be given meds so that to make sure that you're able to pass stool. It's really, it just has bad side effects. And then like during like around the 5th day, I started having mouth sores. And you know, usually they are not really in the mouth. They are from the mouth, mouth up to the anus, I would say that. So you are having a problem eating, and you're having a problem going to the loo. It's just bad. Because usually what chemo does, it destroys something called the mucous membrane, and you know, that is what protects you. It's what protects you.
And let me ask you, God, so ulikuwa unakulaje?
I used to take blended food, like a baby. And it's not really much. I wouldn't take much food because I have nausea. I can't eat. I have mouth sores. The mouth sores were big, like they were the size of a tick. You know, a tick, vile tick inajishikilia kwa ng'ombe. They were like big things on my tongue. I couldn't even open my mouth. They were very big. They were whitish. I was using mouthwash, to just ease them and to try and heal them. Then after that, because now the platelets, you see the platelets, what they do is that they help in clotting of the blood. So you see, when chemo starts, the clotting stops. So I started bleeding.
Where?
Hey, I started bleeding like, the normal menses, but they were not menses. I was really bleeding. It was bad. I'm telling you, it was bad.
Hey, so now after those 7 days, did you go home or you stayed?
No,
it was a lie.
You can't go home. They can't discharge you immediately, because that is now when the chemo starts working. So
okay.
7 days were for chemo, and then another like 2.5 weeks were for treating the side effects. Yes. So I stayed in a hospital for like almost a month. It was almost a month, because I remember I was discharged like on 29th of January. And you see, I had gone on 2nd of January. So like a whole month. So I was really sick. I was sick in bed. I couldn't do anything. Actually, the nurses used to shower me because I wasn't even able to.
So now let me ask you, how did you know now when you are cancer free? Did you believe you are cancer free?
Yes, I did. You see what happened? That was the first treatment. There are other treatments that followed. Because after I was discharged, after I did that treatment, the doctor came and did another bone marrow biopsy. So usually after that, now they have to see the percentage at which the cancer cells have reduced. So me, when the doctor came in, I really had faith, Evelyne. I had faith. I told the doctor went with the bone marrow, and I said, God, whatever cancer cells have remained in that bone marrow, I am commanding them to die. I am not going to stay with cancer. It's not possible. And in my mind, I wasn't thinking of dying. No, I wasn't.
Which is good. Ingekuwa mimi. I think ingekuwa mimi naogopa.
I was not thinking of dying. No.
Wow.
So when the doctor went, the results didn't come out immediately. Like, he didn't even tell me the results. But me, I kept believing I am coming out of this place. I had people who used to come and see me, pray with me. Everyone was praying with me. I can tell you, when you have cancer, you need a very, very strong support system. You do. You just cannot beat cancer. It's like a demon, that thing.
I tell you.
You just can't stay like this and say, I will get through this. It's not malaria.
You have to pray.
You have to get people. You have to get people praying for you.
Yes.
So I know I had people who used to pray for me. I know back at home, even at church where I fellowship, they used to pray for me. So
when now they went to do that bone marrow nini test, the result?
The result came out. The doctor didn't tell me immediately. So he told me when he was discharging me. So he told me, now we did the result, the test, and your results are very positive. We did not see any cancer cells.
You could not imagine. I can imagine the feeling.
Yes. And me, from that moment, you see the words he told me, we could not see any cancer cells. That is what I believed. So me, I told everyone, I'm cancer free.
Amen.
I am okay. I am not doing any. I didn't know I had to do other sessions. But I knew that was it. That is the word I took. We did not see any cancer cells. So that was it. So even when he was discharging me, there's a lady who came from a particular church, and she was like, and now how is the progress? I told her, I'm healed. The doctor told me that in the morning, I am healed, I'm okay. So I'm just going home and I will rest and then go back to work. That is what I told that. So I was discharged and then I came home. Now the side effects. When I came to the plot, people could not believe what they were seeing.
They are like, cancer iponagi?
Yeah.
Obvious, kuna kale kamebaki.
And you know, yeah, of course people will say that. And during that treatment, of course, there are people who are like, I could tell, you know, you can always tell when people hawaamini kama hiki tunaweza isha, the way they talk to you. Yeah, you know, the way people come and tell you, oi, you know, the way they talk to you.
Hao watu hatuwataki. Tukiwa in that situation hatuwataki. Tunataka watu wanatuambia you are okay. Yes, you are okay and you are healed.
But I tell you, the condition in which I was, because I lost my hair, I became black.
And even the lips.
Yeah, the lips became red. The whole skin was peeling. I was looking completely unrecognizable. So when someone comes and sees me, and then they try to remember who this was, they were like, oh my God. I remember there are so many people who came to hospital, they left crying. Even my own dad. My own dad came and he cried because he thought, this is the last time I'm seeing my daughter. That is what he said actually later. That is what he told me later. So I couldn't judge them because I remember even there's someone who asked me, I told her, you know, when I get nikipona, when I get discharged, I think I'm going to relocate and move to a place where I have two sisters around here in Thika. So I told her I'm going to move and go to my sister's town so I can live with family.
I forgot to ask you, Esther. It was which stage? Unajua wanasemanga stage 1 inaweza pona, stage 2. You know someone who is watching anaweza fikiria maybe it was stage 1 or stage 2. Which stage was that? Because some wengine wanasema when it is stage 3 or 4 it doesn't heal.
Yeah, usually you see, this was blood cancer. Okay, blood cancer, mostly you will get to know that you have blood cancer during the last stages. Okay. Because you see, as I told you, I started feeling bad back in 2015, August.
The whole year.
You see, the whole time, my blood is being drained by this cancer cell until now, January 2016. So that is when it was extremely bad. So I remember that these were the doctor's words. He told me, you know, we need to do treatment urgently, Esther, because if we don't, in a few days we'll be talking about something else. So and I was like, is the doctor telling me that I'm going to die in a few days, or what is he telling me?
Yes.
Because the blood cancer, usually it's called leukemia. The type that I had is called acute myeloid leukemia. It usually progresses so fast. And you see, as I told you, the first test I did at work, the blood was at 8. The second test I did in the hospital, it was 6. And then after that, the blood counts, before I started treatment, it had already gone to 5. You see, my blood level was just going down and down. That is why the doctor told me, now we'll be talking about something else.
So now, for how long have you been cancer free?
I have been cancer free for, I would say, this is the 5th year.
Wow, yes. The 5th year.
Yes.
So what waamini you are cancer free?
Let people believe. Let people believe that Mungu anaponya.
Amen.
Because me, I believe that it's not the doctor who
it is God
who healed me. Because there are so many people who go to hospital, even big hospitals, they deal with the best doctors, but they don't get healed. But me, I believe that whatever you believe, it shall be done. So me, I believed I am not going to die of cancer. I'm not going to die young. I have to live to the fullest. So me, I just want to tell people, it's a very long.
Before you tell people, have you done other tests to confirm that you are free, you are cancer free?
Yes, I have done tests from 2016 when I was that was just one chemo session, but I finished treatment in June 2016. That is when I finished the whole treatment, because I had to go for others. And since that, I had to go for reviews after every 3 months. 3 months. I had to do blood. I had to do a follow-up review after every 3 months with the doctor until 2019. That is when I stopped going to hospital. And everything comes negative. My blood is so... Every time I look at my arms and I see red all over, I know I have blood.
Amen. So what can you tell someone? There is someone there, maybe he or she has cancer, or family member with cancer. What can you tell them?
I would tell them to believe in God.
Amen.
And to have faith. Because with faith, all things are possible.
Amen.
And God heals.
Amen.
And whatever God does, He does it permanently.
Amen.
If you believe in God, you will heal. You will heal.
Amen.
It's not like something that you need to negotiate about. You will. If God heals you, you are healed.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Esther. It's a long story. I could have asked you so many questions, but time. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please subscribe. I am very much sure someone is going to get hope. Someone is going to get courage to live again. Because when you hear cancer, you are like, the life nivo, yeah. So Esther is here, is beautiful. See how she is beautiful. Yeah, so God is able. God bless you, Esther. Nikipata maswali zingine nitakuita. Nikuulize. Thank you so much. Yes.